What's up guys, it's Radio here again, and today I'm gonna give you a quick rundown on my Crit Ice Crasher Inquisitor if you would like to actually play the build. Let me start with the gear straight away. The main thing that you need is a Hegemonis Era Judgment Staff. Don't worry about how it actually looks. I just think that Hegemonis Era looks a bit too short in the hand and it just looks sick to me. It looks so much better when you just smack the ground, guys. Anyway, let's get back to our gear. Apart from this, you don't really need anything. I would say maybe Sibyl's Lemons because of the Ella Reflect. But again, this is like a really cheap ring, so it doesn't really matter. The rest of the gear goes Abysses. We have a nice Fangio Talisman. It's just, life boost and some accuracy. Make sure you actually get accuracy on your jewels. Then a 3 Chaos 2 Stone Ring. Nothing really special. I just need life, accuracy, and just basically the resist to fill out. Our chest is, I found this earlier this league, and basically don't even need a 6 link here. I actually got rid of the 5 link because I needed the links like that. It's life, obviously, some resists and a bunch of armor, which obviously helps a lot with the abysses. Boots, again, I found these. As you can see, the enchant is crap on it, but oh well. Pretty decent boots though to find. I'm actually just using a leveling belt. It's a decent belt, don't get me wrong, because you have true res and life, but this is just a leveling one, pretty much. And then, okay, so this is the expensive part here, guys. At Series Acuity, you need that to insta leech. You don't necessarily need the item itself, but it makes life so much easier on high levels, guys. It's just ridiculous difference that we actually get. Now, the gem links. You can find them over here on the side, but I'm gonna go through it as well. It's as follows: physical to lightning. You need that to convert the other half of the ice crash damage, basically. So we're dealing cold and lightning damage all together. So physical to lightning, ice crash, melee physical damage, weapon elemental damage, faster attacks, and increased area of effect. You don't necessarily need the 6 link. I went with 5 link for a tiny bit. I dropped increased area because the damage was just so good this way, and I didn't really feel like I need extra area, but obviously 6 link is better. The Flask setup that I went with has only 1 life flask, which isn't immune to bleeding flask. It just needs to remove the bleed, to be completely honest. The rest is Alliance Roar because it's so much more multiplier, and I'll come back to this one as well because there's another thing that a nice synergy basically. Then yes, that's a Legacy Taste of Hate, and you don't actually need that. Just get a normal one, it's completely fine. It's extra cold damage and extra physical damage reduction, so it's really good, guys. Then a Diamond Flask. This helps us crit, well, pretty much, I don't know, like probably 95% of the time. Immune to freeze and extra charges, just so we can use it more. And then the last one, because obviously we're using Abysses, I think it's really good to have a Basalt Flask with extra armor on it. That's pretty much it for the flasks. As you can see, I get a bunch of armor from here, and some more flat physical damage reduction. That's why we can actually run Abysses even on tier 15, tier 16 maps. Because we're converting all of our physical damage into elemental damage, we went ahead and chose Inquisitor as our Ascendancy. Pretty obvious, I think. Instruments of Virtue is crazy good. Then our main thing is Righteous Providence, right? Sorry, not Righteous Providence, Inevitable Judgment. So, critical strikes ignore enemy monster resistances. What it means, I do not need to worry about 2 different penetrations, because we're obviously dealing mainly cold and lightning damage. But because of that, I just need to crit, and I ignore all the resists, and it's just so good, guys. It's so much damage. The last Ascendancy points went to these 2. I think it's a bit better than these. You deal more damage, you take less damage. Win-win, right? Then on the skill tree, we basically... Okay, let me do this for you guys. Basically, when this way, you pretty much want to pick up most of the life nodes around you. And, well, the area effect over here. We did not go over here for the extra area effect. I don't think you really need to. Plus, you would lose a lot of life this way. You don't actually need extra in either, so there's really no point going that way. Unless you want to get maybe an extra curse, but we're on level 91, so you could actually get that by 95, even if you keep the tree like this. Apart from that, we're trying to get some extra accuracy and obviously attack speed and dexterity, bear that in mind. As you can see, I still need to pick one of these up. And, okay, the main thing here, and this is where the synergy comes to play. So, because we're using Hegemon's Arrow, right, we have +1 to maximum power charges, which is obviously really good. But the 10% chance to gain a power charge if you knock an enemy back with melee damage comes from 2 places. One is basically here, right? Blunt Trauma. It says knocks back enemies if you get a critical strike with a staff. So there you go. Most of the time you're gonna crit, so that's gonna be up. And 10% is not much, yeah, but it will still have during mapping. The other thing, and this is where I'm gonna come back to Lion's Roar. This adds knockback to melee attacks, basically, right? It's just so good with it. You get even more power charges with that. It's just easier to keep up. Then you basically pick up some life from here. The power charge, you're gonna pick up all the life from there. And this is the other wheel that you kind of want to pick up. Extra damage, yeah, sure. Physical damage, again, 10% chance to gain an endurance charge or melee critical strike. Helps with endurance charge as well. And then a bunch of crit, basically. And the other note here is 10% chance to gain a power charge when you block, and 6% additional chance to block with staves, basically. Now, that's actually pretty good again, because our block chance goes up to 32% without taking these 2. So, that's the good thing about Hedgie's staff. You actually get some extra block on it as well. You could use a rare staff. You could, but, you know, these are nice little perks that you get, and the power charge is really, really good, guys. Then you come down here, you basically pick up the melee critical strike chance, because it's just so good, right? And obviously I had to get the dexterity, and I chose basically this way. Then you come pick up the jewel sockets. Your jewel sockets should have extra maximum life, and I went with some attack speed. These are pretty cheap jewels, guys, because attack speed with staves, not many people use staves, right, to attack. So, good for me. I got these for quite cheap, few KS each, and it's nice and easy. It helps with some resists. I don't really think we really need it, but better in mind, we're not going to have resists over here. Then you come down, more life, more accuracy, a bit of armor and life. One with that, you pick up Unwavering Stance, more life, and obviously you want more armor when you put on Abyssus, but leave this until you actually put Abyssus on. It wouldn't help you that much otherwise. I mean, it's a really good node, but still. Then, how did I level? I believe I came this way first. So you pick up all these nodes, you go down to damage nodes, more life, again a jewel socket, life, attack speed, nothing much. I don't have GG jewels, guys, just simple ones. If you actually look at my gear, most of these I actually found, and the only expensive part is the serious acuity there. Then you pick up the whole life wheel. I could have gone this way. It's the exact same amount of points. If I take these two and put it there, it's the exact same way. But I went this way just in case I want some more attack speed later on. So we're in level 91. You could push this to level 95 easily. You could pick this up if you'd really want to. And that's pretty much the passive skill tree. There is more than 199% life. Actually, yeah, more than 199 because we still have our jewel sockets. I think I have 3 or so. You can pick up another one here if you really want to. For the bandits, we went with life, attack speed, and a power charge, basically. Power charge is just good to have as an extra. Our crit chance with power charge is on, sits around 63-64% basically. And with an ice golem, if I'm correct. Where the heck do I have it? Oh, here. Yes, Ice Golem helps with the accuracy, obviously. We would be about 90%, and with the crit as well. It's just a cost when damage taken setup, guys. Molten Shell, Immortal Coal, and the Ice Golem. Then I have Blood Rage on. If you want to, you can actually level this higher. The only reason why I didn't, because if I take Abyssus off, I'll barely have enough points to actually... enough dexterity, sorry, to actually deal with the dexterity requirements. But if you put Abyssus on, you only need 6 more to get this to level 20, and that's 4% more attack speed. Bear in mind, you don't get any benefits from the leech, because it's physical damage, and we're dealing elemental damage, but I just put it on for extra attack speed, guys. Then obviously, Leap Slam 45, faster attacks. We have Hatred, Blasphemy, and Warlord's Mark. That's how we get the leech. Then Orbital Storms, Power Charge and Critical. It's an easier way to generate power charges. You probably won't use it much during mapping. Maybe here and there. It's for boss fights, basically. And then, as a utility, we have an Ancestral War Chief, faster attacks, Conk Effect, and melee physical damage on this guy here. So our tooltip, as you can see, it's about 90k without anything on, really. If we put Conk Effect in, we pop the Flask, and we have, well, during mapping basically, and you have the Frenzy charges up, you're basically looking above 500,000 deeps, guys. Plus, I think about 160,000 from our Ancestral War Chief. So it's a pretty decent amount of damage, especially being an Inquisitor. We ignore the enemy elemental resistances, so it's just hideous. You can freeze tier 15 bosses easily. Plus, as you can see from some of the footage, some of the bosses like die in pretty much a few hits, right? During mapping, you'll see you one-shot a lot. It's just so satisfying to hear everything shatter. It's just so good, guys. You can get a bit more life if you would want to. You can hit over 7k life if you take Abyssus off and you put on a rare helmet with 90-95 life on it. You can get a bit more on your jewels and on your belt, basically. And bear in mind that we actually have 433 strength here, which helps with life and melee damage, basically. Melee Phys, which we convert into elemental, obviously. And yeah, the only thing to look out for is probably chaos damage. You want to basically jump in and kill any monsters that deal chaos damage as soon as you can. Because if you have a bunch of projectiles, for example, that hit you, you can die pretty quick, obviously. It's not an energy shield based build, so you're never gonna get 10k life with this thing. But I just wanted to make this build because I like Ice Crash, and I love the shattering sound, guys. Our first tier 15 boss attempt was Deresso at level 88. Abyssus and all. As you can see, the damage is actually ridiculously good. You are pretty much completely fine as long as you avoid those swords. They hit quite hard. Deresso himself won't hit you that hard, and you can leech through pretty much everything. I've even done after this double Deresso one, and we died once, but that was because I positioned poorly and went into the overlapping swords and got hit by both their SOs. But apart from that, it's a really easy kill. The Hydra fight was actually easier than I thought. It's pretty simple, just don't panic, don't pick up the Frostbolts and her arrows, and you're gonna be completely fine. Our damage is good. I've done my first one, this one, with extra monster life, and we were pretty much fine. On the Hydra map, I found a stone altar, and we basically just went ahead and summoned Rigwald. I was a bit afraid because it was monster level 82. I don't know if it actually counts, because to my surprise, it was actually really easy, as you guys can see. It's barely a few hits, and he was down. Here you can see my first Minotaur fight with the character, which was actually quite interesting because I had two invasion bosses in the room with the Minotaur, so it was a bit hectic right there. But we actually managed to get out of it deathless, even though we were really close at times. At the beginning, I actually thought I killed both of the invasion bosses. And as you can see right here, I kind of went through the lightning. I probably shouldn't have done that. But nevertheless, we survived. I will get hit soon again, really hard. Just like that. Yes, and well, we kind of guided our way around it, I guess. So it was pretty decent. The damage is pretty good. I just have to make sure that I kind of have my flasks up, because obviously the Minotaur will deal a lot of damage to me with a business sound like that. And yeah, so this is where I actually realized that I still have one invasion boss on, which almost fucked me, but it actually came out quite well, because the Minotaur came up right there in the lightning, so we're actually dealing increased damage, and I don't even need to move much. I can pretty much face tank it at this point when it's alone and, you know, not two invasion bosses around, and it's a quite nice kill. When you fight a Chimera, just be careful with your flasks, because when he actually hides in the smoke, you can take about 4, maybe 5 hits before you die, but if you have some flasks up, it can really save you. Apart from that, it's a pretty straightforward fight. During mapping, you just basically turn on Blood Rage, go to the first pack, put down Orbital Storms, get your power charges up and running, and you basically just want to try and keep it up as much as you can. The more you crit, the more insta-leech you basically get, and that way you'll pretty much survive everything. I've even done the Overgrown Ruin bosses with chaos damage. Yeah, my life just jumps up and down, but we did it deathless, so it's all good, guys. That's it for this build, guys. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like it, and I shall see you guys in the next video.